back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. If that's something you want to watch, go ahead and subscribe. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. So we begin with Jade. Things are going pretty well for her. She bought a house and Sean got a job as a co-foreman. Congratulations to Sean. Jade says he's only working nights and weekends for now, but soon he should move to full-time. Now that that whole get a job thing is checked off the to-do list, Jade is seriously considering having more kids. She says if I don't do it now, I never will. Then I'll regret it when I get older. Oh, by the way, my mom's getting out of jail tomorrow. I feel like I've done enough for her. Like, you're married. Our relationship is only going to suffer if I have to be the mom. Next is Macy, and Bentley looks so old here, it's insane. She calls Ryan. She says, so we're going to do a cookout for your 1 year of sobriety. We're going to celebrate you. And he says, you celebrate me every day. It's my world. Y'all are just living in it. And the sad part is, with how much he's gotten away with in our legal system, he's not lying. By the way, Bentley hasn't been texting me. Oh, just send him funny things. He'll respond. You could start off by sending him some of Anastasia recaps videos on Amanda. He'll get a kick out of those. Over at Ryan's, Larry tells Ryan, you really made a difference. You brought the family back together again. And Amanda says, the actions that Ryan took to be there for Bentley and Macy, how could you not respect that man? Maybe because he destroyed his ex-wife's house in a meth-induced rage and has been completely neglecting his 2 children with Mackenzie. But hey, he still pays attention to at least one of his 3 kids, so we best respect him. That's more kids than Amanda pays attention to. Ryan's parents jokingly demand an apology for all he put them through, which Ryan does give. And then Larry says, are we clean now? We washed that slate. And Ryan says, yeah, until next time. Cue the sitcom laugh track. Those silly Edwards. And while I think that Larry was talking about like a clean slate, not necessarily clean as in clean from drugs, how ironic is it that Ryan says, until next time? Like it's kind of telling. Mackenzie starts the birth control for the IVF. She asks Casanio ahead of time to give her grace because she knows she's going to be crazy. Casanio says there's surely going to be some fun moments. Thank God I have this man cave. Next is Amber. She says, I've been engaged 6 times. What? Okay, Gary number 1, Matt Byer, I think Andrew Glennon she was engaged to. And then this Gary. Who are the other 2? I'll have to reread her book with the terrible cover to remember the rest. Gary's like a brother to me. I'm nervous to tell him that we're engaged. He's just like my brother. He keeps on poking at me, you know? Oh yeah, he poked you a lot back in the day. Jade's grandma picks up Christy from jail and brings her to Jade's place, and she gives everyone a nice, smelly jail hug. But she's really not feeling too good. She's like, oh my God, I'm so anxious and overstimulated. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. Well, I got you a gift box, Mom. I got you a new bra and some PJs. Oh, thanks, Jade, and thanks for letting us stay here a couple days. Yeah, I guess I'm the hostess with the mostess. God, not this cycle again. You can tell Jade really does not want her mom there. And can we blame her? No. Anyone who watched the first few seasons of Young and Pregnant knows that this went on and on with her mom begging to stay with her. I'm gonna be homeless, Jade. Jade lets her stay there and then she trashes the house and doesn't get a job. Macy and Taylor reminisce on when Ryan threatened to shoot Taylor and how far they've come since then. Macy says, I'm glad you guys can be in the same room now. Well, him being sober is a big difference. You and Ryan are gaining respect for each other. We should be proud of ourselves. Mackenzie visits the IVF doctor. He warns her if your A1C levels get too high, your baby could have cleft palate or spina bifida. I recommend using supplemental meds, maybe Ozempic or Mounjaro. What we can do is freeze the embryos until your A1C is at a good level like 6.5. Mackenzie's dad FaceTimes her. He's very scared about her doing IVF with her diabetes, but she insists that she'll be okay. Christy says, I'm so anxious now, and I don't know where the root of it is from. Other times, I guess I was fucked up when I went to jail and when I left, but this time I was sober. You were getting lazy again, Mom. I stopped seeing you for a while. I think I have depression. I think you need a therapist. Yeah, I know. God was like, you're slipping back into your old habits, bitch. Wow, I hope to receive such a divine message from God when I pray. Before rehab, if I accomplished something, I celebrated by getting high. And then when something bad happened to me, I coped by getting high. I don't even know what makes me happy anymore, besides getting high. And that's actually, like, really sad. I just can't imagine being, 40-something years old and not even having any hobbies because all you ever did was drugs. It's really depressing. Amber and Gary meet up with Gary number 1, Leah, and Christina for lunch again. Amber asks Leah, how was school? Good. And Amber almost, like, glares at her and gets all squinty-eyed, like, oh, you're not going to give me a longer answer? And I try to give her the benefit of the doubt here, like, oh, maybe it's sunny outside, maybe that's just her unfortunate bulldogish-looking face. But no, I think she was really mad that, like, Leah didn't say more. But she knows you don't care, Amber. Why bother? I'd like to go to your cross-country stuff, Yeah, sure. I'll have to wait until I get my schedule. And by the way, I actually used to run cross-country. Very challenging, so props to Leah. But it was a fall sport. It went from September to November. So assuming that this was probably filmed, like, I don't know, 4 to 6 months ago, cross-country season would, like, just now be starting for Leah. So Amber's focused on something that's months and months away. And how many times did she hang out with Leah in the meantime over the summer? 0. According to Gary via TikTok, she hung out with her 10 minus 10 times, obviously meaning 0. Great job, Amber. Great job. Gary says to Amber, keep in mind that it takes consistency. Yeah, I know. I miss you, baby. It's been hard. I need you to give me a chance. And Leah just, like, nods awkwardly. By the way, we have something to tell you. And Gary number 2 says, I can do the honors. But before he tells him that they're engaged, we switch to the next scene, which is Mackenzie. So, Cass, you have to sign this paper saying that they'll kill the embryos if I die during IVF. Jesus Christ. He says, can I sign this later? No, today's the due date. So he does sign it. And then they start doing some vlogs. So she says, we did my first injections last night. Good news, I don't feel like killing anyone. They're growing my follicles and I'm just getting very bloated. In the egg retrieval room a few days later, Mackenzie and Casanio grind up on each other for TikTok and say, we're making a baby. In the end, they got 15 eggs and 4 frozen embryos. Next is the Ryan cookout. Amanda is chatting with Macy and she mentions, my son's 11. We're trying to get it to where he can come with me every year. Oh, you're just so amazing with Bentley. And I really wanted to hear more details on Amanda's custody situation, but whatever, they keep it vague. Also, I'm trying to see what her face tat says. It looks like it says damaged, which, I mean, love the honesty. Larry pulls Taylor to the side and he apologizes to him. Finally, they fought like years ago. He says, I did some things that were not right. Taylor forgives him and they share a hug. Ryan gets a cake with a 1 on it, and Jen says it's his 1-year birthday for being good. And kind of a metaphor for how much this grown-ass man is babied. But, congrats on his sobriety. Macy says, fingers crossed that it stays this way forever. Back to Amber. Gary says, so, me and Amber are engaged. Wow, what do you think, Leah? I like him. Do you have a wedding date planned? No, it's still fresh, girl. After lunch, though, when Amber leaves, the real feelings get spilled. Christina asks, Leah, what do you actually think about it? And she says, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's way too early. Gary says, look, nobody get their hopes up, okay? Err on the side of caution and take it for what it is for now. And the kind of sad part is Gary number 2, meanwhile, says to Amber, I really think that they all like me. I want to know them all better and I want to be one big happy family with them. Amber says, Leah still needs to warm up to me. I want her to see me with someone who doesn't put me down, someone who lifts me up. And I don't see anything else but happiness for us. Over at Gary's house, Leah says, that was just awkward. And kind of rushed how she got engaged and then popped back in. She just got with that guy. Christina's like, yeah, we haven't seen Amber for 7 months. Hardly any messages the entire time. And all of a sudden she starts coming more? She was too busy working on her relationship with him, while Leah's been here the whole time. Gary asks, do you want to see Amber more? And Leah says, no. What if she wants you to be part of her wedding? No, I don't want anything to do with it or the Gary stuff. She just shows up again and thinks we're one big happy family. Well, we support whatever decision you want. I don't want to be one big happy family with her. And what's funny to me about Amber is she pretty much exactly fits the stereotype of that deadbeat dad who only visits their child around their new partner to act like, oh, I'm such a great parent to their new girlfriend. And oh, my baby mama's just keeping her away because she's bitter. But like Amber's the mom, so we're not used to seeing it like that. with the gender switched. And I do feel like we see this way less often for moms, but please know, like, this is proof that deadbeat moms absolutely do exist too. Speaking of deadbeat moms, Jade's mom got an apartment, but she has been MIA. Jade says, my grandma and my aunt were lying to me. I just found out that my mom relapsed, and they've been hiding it for her. I asked her to take a drug test. She flipped out and hung up on me. I asked my dad since he's been around her, and he's like, oh yeah, totally fine. Came over and passed the drug test. I feel so defeated. She calls her mom's rehab counselor and tells her what happened. The counselor says, your family is enabling her. I told them that it's killing her, and they don't want to be a part of any help. You need to tell them, I can't stand by and watch that. I'm going to have to cut you out. I just feel like, what was the point of her going to rehab? Just for them to help take her away from me? I don't want to have another baby at this point. They wouldn't be able to visit their own family. Stay at grandma's house. They couldn't do that. I'm going to have to cut my family off. And Jade starts to cry. And I just never can understand, like, why you would protect the person who is doing drugs and not the person who has been supporting them all this time. I mean, it's just like, are they doing drugs too? Grandma seems a little too old to be doing that, but you never know. And that's just kind of like a roller coaster with Jade's scenes, is like whenever something's going well, it kind of just all goes down afterwards. So hopefully the up is coming soon. And that's all for this episode of Team on the Next Chapter. What do we think of Amber's engagement announcement? Do we think Leah gave a shit? What do we think of Ryan's 1 year of sobriety? Do we think he's going to continue on that path? Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for more Team On recaps every week.